What if the place you thought you escaped never truly let you go? What if the walls you trusted were still listening, still waiting? In The Housemaid 2, the silence is louder, the memories are sharper, and the house is no longer just a house. It is a witness. And this time, it wants answers. The story begins in quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the kind that feels heavy on your chest. The house stands exactly where it always has, clean on the outside, perfect to the eye, hiding everything it knows behind closed doors. Time has passed, but nothing inside these walls has healed. Every step echoes with memories that refuse to stay buried. This special feature takes us back into the world of The Housemaid 2, where fear doesn't rush at you, it waits. The camera moves slowly through empty rooms, showing us that the danger is not loud. It is patient. The house remembers every secret whispered, every lie told, and every tear that fell when no one was watching. At the center of this story are two women who survived once, but survival has a cost. Sweeney returns as a woman carrying scars that no one can see. Her eyes hold a mix of strength and fear, as if she knows that leaving the house did not mean leaving the past behind. Every calm breath feels practiced, every smile slightly forced. Opposite her stands Seyfried, a presence that feels both familiar and unsettling. There is kindness in her voice, but also control in her silence. She doesn't need to raise her voice to hold power. She simply waits, knowing that fear will do the work for her. This first section is not about action. It is about tension. It shows how the smallest things, a door closing, a pause in a conversation, a look held for 1 second too long, can feel dangerous. The film invites us to ask one question: did the story ever really end, or did it only change its shape? As the house fills the screen, one truth becomes clear. Some places don't just hold memories. They protect them. And when the time is right, they bring them back. Time has moved forward, but the past refuses to stay quiet. In The Housemaid 2, we learn that leaving the house was never the same as being free. Life continued on the outside, new days, new faces, new routines, but something always felt unfinished. The kind of feeling that sits in the back of your mind, waiting for the moment you let your guard down. This section slowly shows how the characters tried to rebuild their lives. On the surface, everything looks normal. Smiles return. Conversations sound light. But beneath that calm, fear still breathes. The story makes it clear that healing does not happen just because time passes. Some wounds stay open, even when no one can see them. The character played by Sweeney is no longer the same person we met before. She has learned how to stay alert without looking scared. She listens more than she speaks. She watches people closely, reading their tone, their silence, their eyes. Every choice she makes feels careful, as if one wrong step could pull her back into something dark. Strength did not come easily. It was built through fear, through survival, and through loss. Across from her, the character portrayed by Seyfried feels just as calm as ever. But this calm is different. It is not peaceful, it is controlled. She moves with confidence, speaking softly, never rushing. The film shows us that power doesn't always look angry or loud. Sometimes it looks polite. Sometimes it smiles. And sometimes it waits for the right moment to remind you who is really in charge. The special feature hints that their connection never truly broke. It only changed. Their past binds them together in ways neither can escape. Every meeting feels loaded with meaning. Every word sounds normal, yet carries a second message underneath. Trust becomes fragile. One look can say more than a full sentence. Guilt for surviving. Guilt for leaving. Guilt for staying silent. The film does not rush these emotions. It lets them sit, letting the audience feel the weight the characters carry every day. There is no clear line between victim and control anymore, only people shaped by what they live through. This part ends. One thing becomes clear. The past isn't chasing them. It's waiting. And the closer they get to the house again, the harder it becomes to tell who has truly changed and who has been the same all along. The closer the story moves toward the house, the more dangerous everything feels. In The Housemaid 2, fear no longer hides in shadows. It lives in routine. Mornings look normal. Rooms look clean. Voices stay calm. But something is wrong, and everyone can feel it. This section shows how danger does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly and stays. The house opens its doors again, and with it comes a strange sense of comfort mixed with dread. The walls are familiar. The rooms look the same. Yet every corner feels tighter, as if the space itself is watching. The film makes it clear that the house is no longer just a setting. It is part of the game. Every hallway holds a memory. Every room has a past that refuses to stay silent. The character played by Sweeney begins to sense that something new is happening. Not louder, not faster, just deeper. She notices patterns that others miss. A door left open. A light turned off too late. A conversation that ends too suddenly. These small details begin to pile up, creating a feeling that someone is always one step ahead of her at the same time. Seyfried remains calm, almost gentle. She speaks kindly. She offers help. But her silence feels heavy. When she listens, it feels like she is learning. When she smiles, it feels like she already knows the ending. The power in this story does not come from force, it comes from control. Patience and timing. This section leans into mind games. Words are chosen carefully. Truth is mixed with lies. The audience is never fully sure who is honest and who is acting. The tension grows not because of what is said, but because of what is left unsaid. Every pause feels intentional. Every moment of quiet feels planned. The special feature hints that new secrets are buried inside the house. Secrets that could change how we see everything that happened before. The past is no longer just something to remember, it is something being used. Used to test limits. Used to break trust. Used to push people into making choices they promised themselves they would never make again. One truth becomes clear. This is no longer about escape. It is about control. And in a place where silence rules, the most dangerous person is the one who never needs to raise their voice. Everything slowly leads to one final understanding. This story was never about the house alone. It was always about what people choose to hide inside themselves. In The Housemaid 2, the walls don't close in with force. They close in with truth. And truth, once revealed, cannot be undone. This final section of the special feature leans into emotion rather than action. The fear becomes personal. Every character is pushed to face who they really are when no one is watching. The calm routine begins to crack. Small mistakes appear. A pause lasts too long. A look gives away more than words ever could. The control that once felt unbreakable begins to slip. The character portrayed by Sweeney reaches a turning point. Survival is no longer enough. She must decide whether staying silent keeps her safe or keeps her trapped. The fear in her eyes is no longer just fear of the house, but fear of becoming someone she doesn't recognize. Strength in this moment means choosing to face the truth, no matter the cost. Across from her, Seyfried reveals the most unsettling part of the story. Control does not come from anger. It comes from knowing someone else's weakness. The film suggests that the real danger is not what is done openly, but what is planned quietly. Her calm never breaks, but the meaning behind it changes. This section hints that the line between victim and villain is thinner than it seems. The audience is left questioning every moment that came before. Was it protection? Or manipulation? Was it care? Or control? The answers are never handed over easily. Instead, the story invites the viewer to decide for themselves. As the feature draws to a close, the house stands silent once more. But the silence feels different now. It no longer hides secrets. It waits for consequences. The final message is clear. Some stories don't end when you leave the room. They end when you finally face what happened inside it, and even then, the house is still watching.